In the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jordan Davis.
All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas. You just saw, I got a clip from a buddy of mine, Vince. You guys saw Vince that was live at the draft. That was the reaction to the Jordan Davis pick. And welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. We are talking about football, the NFL, the show that keeps on giving, man. It's been a crazy week, an exciting week. That draft was more than we could have ever hoped for. At least it was, in my opinion, because there were a lot of things going on and a lot of things happened that we just plain old did not expect. So there he is. Vince, thanks for that video clip, bro. I appreciate it. Came out real good. And you can see from that clip, man, everybody was excited for that pick. Everybody was excited. What's up, TK? What's going on, Drew? First ones in the chat. I appreciate you. Man, like just from our past draft history with Howie Roseman, Howie's caught a lot of flack in the past, rightfully so. And hey, Mom. And when he, like I try to tell people, the flack that Howie has caught is valid. Everybody knows the obvious culprits. Jalen Reagor, J. Jaw versus Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf. So that's a couple of big whiffs. But last year's draft was pretty decent. This year's draft was A+ across the board, without question. What's up, Brian? What's up, Jake? Yes, we did have a fantastic draft. What's up, Charles? What's good, man? Man, it was just everybody has that the bubbles in their stomach when our pick comes up and you see who you want to get. And it's like, please don't do nothing silly. Please don't go outside the box. Just take the obvious choice. Me, you guys heard me on the show last couple of weeks. I was pulling for Jordan Davis. When you get a big man that moves like that, when a big man can run a 4.8, a 4.78 at 300 pounds, that's ridiculous. But when somebody's running a 4.78 at 340 pounds, that's ridiculous. That's off the charts. You got to do it. You got to do it. And I know one of the nitpicks I had was when Jordan Davis got selected, the first thing Booger McFarland does is play the clip of, clearly he was gassed against that believe that was a national championship game versus Oklahoma. And he was like, you got to give me better effort than that. And all of the stuff he was saying. And I'm like, come on, man. That's one of those things. Like, you don't put yourself in that situation. Let me say it like this. My guess is he had already given it. He gave all he had. He was out of gas. And I have no problem with that. So if you land it out on the field, you can say what you want to. Everybody's been in that situation. Me, even as a running back, I've been in that situation. And you give what you get. I've gotten the ball before and had zero legs. And it felt like I was just running in place. But you still got to do what you got to do. Rob, what's going on, dude? Rob says, I disagree with the poll. You think the Jets had the best draft. The Jets, in my opinion, had the best draft when it comes to draft picks. The reason why I say the Eagles had the best draft, I would agree with you if it weren't for A.J. Brown. To me, that's the deciding factor that puts the Eagles over the top is A.J. Brown. Reason being is you could have got Traylon Burks or London or Jameson or any of those other elite receivers, because when we selected Jordan Davis, I'm like, okay, at 18, we still got some good receivers on the board. I like Traylon Burks, so I'm thinking that's the obvious choice. And I did like the kid from North Dakota State. I liked him because he's 6'3" and he runs a 4.3. So, but when they pull off that trade, that puts us over the top because you got a proven elite level wide receiver that's only 24 years old that's going to hit the ground running. He is not a rookie. He does not have anything to learn. That's the difference. That's the difference. If we didn't get A.J. Brown, Rob, I would agree with you. The prize would have gone to the Jets, maybe even the Giants. We still would have gotten a grade for our draft, but having a veteran wide receiver, just the whole situation, you got to look at it from the standpoint of we got a veteran wide receiver, and we had talked about that last week on the show. My buddy Scott was on here. That's the one thing we needed, a veteran wide receiver. And we got one. So a veteran wide receiver, elite level wide receiver, 24 years old, can hit the ground running, and he's already got a relationship with the quarterback, a personal relationship. And I'm telling you now, if you don't think stuff like that transfers, it makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. You get a level of comfort. You get a level of confidence when you see something familiar on the field with you. I remember it was 4 of us from Princeton High School that went to Eastern Kentucky. And I remember when my roommate, Doobie Bergalter, he got in the game, the quarterback had gotten hurt or whatever it was. He got snatched out, whatever the situation was. And they finally was letting my roommate play. I'm in the backfield already. I'm like, my frat brother, Dwayne Woods, was a tight end. Ron Woods was an offensive tackle. So we got 4 guys from my high school on the field at the same time. I'm like, yo, do it like we used to do it back at the crib. Like, you get that familiarity, you get that confidence. Just be around the people you know. You know what he's going to do. You've been there before. And if you think that doesn't make a difference, you're wrong. It makes a huge difference. Stuff like that makes a huge difference. So just from that standpoint alone, back to the original point, I give the Eagles, we win by a nose on who won the draft simply because of that trade. I know what A.J. Brown is going to do. I don't know what Traylon Burks is going to do. Traylon Burks could turn into Jalen Reagor. That's a possibility. Traylon Burks could have a decent rookie year, and then everybody's looking, well, he'll pick it up next year. You don't know what you're going to get with a rookie wide receiver or a rookie anything for that matter. We got a proven commodity at wide receiver. So now you're not going to have defenses game planning Devontae Smith. You can't do it now. You can't have defenses game planning, plugging up the middle and balling up Dallas Goedert. You can't do that now. You got to pick your poison. And that's where you want to be. Not to mention, I know a lot of people are down on him, but guess what? Miles Sanders in the backfield got a chip on his shoulder. You know why? Because it is his contract year. He's playing for the money. So if he doesn't ball out, he doesn't get paid. So he's trying to make something happen. If we use it right, we don't have to do, nor do I expect the Eagles to run the same type of offense, the same type of run-heavy offense that we did last year. We still need to run a balanced offense, but it doesn't necessarily have to be run heavy. Running the ball 15 to 25 times a game is not run heavy. You just got to keep it balanced. If we run the ball 20 times a game, that's perfect. Last year I said and I was proven to be right. You can look at the stats. Whenever Jalen Hurts threw more than 25 attempts a game, the percentage went down, more turnovers, stuff like that. I don't feel like that this year. You know my reasoning. He's in the second year of the same offense for the first time in his career. I'll keep saying that until the season starts. He's got a year under his belt, and he's doing the same exact thing. You can't help but get better. You can't help but get better. People don't, and I'll still say it now, people don't talk about that enough. Yeah, Vince, Burke was compared to A.J. Brown as far as, his draft stock, and everybody's got to be compared to somebody now. That's why when you watch the draft, everybody was compared to Micah Parsons when it came to a linebacker. Everybody was compared to Debo at wide receiver. Or if you're talking about a running back who can catch the ball well, Debo Samuels. Everybody was making that content. Whatever the hot guy is for the year, they're going to do that all the time. Karan, who are you talking about? Karan, whose presence? I'm assuming you're talking about A.J. Brown. If you're talking about A.J. Brown, how his presence will affect the young guys. The one thing, and I'll just say this based on my experience. When I reported the rookie camp, when I reported the training camp, not rookie camp, when I reported the training camp, our veterans were offensive veterans. You got Randall Cunningham, you got Herschel Walker, James Joseph, Heath Sherman, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett. Brian Baldinger was there. Visika Himmel was there. So we had a good core group of leaders. Leading the show was Randall, Herschel, and Baldy was the leader. I would say Randall and Herschel were the leaders on the offense, and obviously Seth and Clyde were the leaders on the defense. So when you have a proven player, in my situation, it was Herschel Walker. I'm a rookie. I don't know all the plays. Herschel, what are we doing? Run a wide this way. Run a quick out that way. Like you need that confidence, and you need somebody that can teach you what you're supposed to do, or if not for nothing else, just to get you comfortable in your skin doing what you do. Even though you've been doing this since you're 9, 10 years old. But when you get there, you feel like you're so out of the water, like you're out of your element. You're doing the same thing, but you're not doing the same thing. Most of it is a mind trip. Most of it is, I remember being out at practice, first day or 2 days. I'm out there early. And the first day, I'm playing toss with Randall Cunningham. Now, this is just Randall Cunningham. You learn to learn that and appreciate that. But when it's your first time on the field, that's Randall Cunningham, the dude that was on Madden, the dude you watched on Monday Night Football, all of the stuff that you grew up watching and making people bigger than life. Now you standing shoulder to shoulder as equals with that dude, because that's the same dude when you bust a 10-yard run on, 11 on 11, he'll pick you up and smack you on the butt and say, good job, Rook. And that just lifts you up. Because those are the things you call home and talk about. How'd you do today? Oh, I don't know, but I know I had one run and Randall Cunningham said, good run. Or Herschel Walker said, good job. Or the coach mentioned me in film room. stuff like that. You take account of all of that kind of stuff. It might not matter a bit, but you remember it because you grasping at every little thing to make that team. So when you have a proven veteran and a veteran, a third, this is his fourth year, and he's only 24. So now you got a veteran and somebody that's closer to your age. So you got a lot more in common. That's stuff like that helps tremendously. So AJ Brown's gonna make a huge impact, in my opinion, on Devontae. And I think Devontae, just being the Eagles' best rookie receiver now, just getting that experience, getting comfortable. Just getting to that moment where you're like, yeah, all right, I belong. Every rookie has that moment where they belong. And you can't, that's the best feeling in the world when you, especially like the stuff that I was going through as an undrafted free agent, to be able to safely say, like, yeah, I belong. The first time I felt like that was when we went to Tokyo and played the Saints. And I had they threw me a screen pass and I took it for like 40 yards. It didn't score, but just I took off, outran a couple people, got caught on an angle. But that was something that the coaches remembered and mentioned me in film study. In film studies where it happens. So let me see. What's up, Vince? Building off veteran leaders, how do you feel about Tannehill saying he will not be a mentor to Malik Willis and they're competing for quarterback? That's a weird one. I don't have a problem with him saying that. But that could come back and bite him in the butt, because I heard somebody, one of the talking heads on ESPN today, they said when everybody puts their hand in, they say, go Titans. They don't say one person. You say go team. You say go Birds. Go Titans. So at the end of the day, it's a team effort. And if you're not doing everything to help your team, and he can say what he want to say, you know, when they're in the meeting, he's going to help the kid out. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I remember when I was a rookie, it was me and Vaughn Hebron. And again, we don't know. This was at rookie camp. So if you're a second year player, you're most likely at rookie camp. But you also got to remember, Saran Stacy and Tony Brooks. Saran was from Alabama. Tony Brooks was from Notre Dame. Two big schools. Both of them were draft picks. We're two undrafted free agents, and we're trying to take their jobs. So why would they want to help us? You mean to tell me if you had a good job right now and you were making $500,000, $600,000, 7 figures a year, $1 million a year, and your boss came to you and said, hey, I want you to train this guy. He's taking your position. What would you do? It's the same thing. It's a weird dynamic. You want to help the team, but at the same time, every year there's a dude coming for your spot. I don't care if you're signed or not. You have one bad game, you plant the wrong way, your career is over. Everybody's one step away. Everybody's one step away. You can be a superstar or you can get promoted to fan real quick in the NFL. NFL stands for not for long. So I don't mind what Tannehill said, but, you know, that's going to come back and haunt him, because I don't care where you are. Everybody needs some help. Everybody. And when you're the leader of the team, you got to look at it like, okay, you got to accept that challenge. Yeah, you got a dude coming in that's taking your spot, but guess what? You the starter. So it's your job to lose. So Ryan Tannehill I know what he's thinking about. He's thinking about that last game of the year where he threw 3 picks. That's what he's thinking about. Because he was all messed up after that game. He had to go to therapy and all kinds of stuff. So I understand why he said it. I wouldn't have said it. You don't have to voice that opinion. He could have simply said, "Hey, he'll be in camp. He'll be watching film the same way I am. So I'm going to speak. He's going to learn from me. That's the nature of the business." And technically, he's right. It's not his job to mentor him, but as the leader of the team, you help out in every way you can, because guaranteed he's going to throw another pick and he's going to feel the heat, because now, after saying that, now they got a receipt, and guaranteed on all these TV shows, the first game he has a bad game, what do you think is going to be the sound clip that everybody plays? What's going to be the video clip that everybody plays? That right there. It's not my job to mentor him. And he going to catch it. He going to catch hell. So you might as well, because you know he's going to have at least one bad game, and he going to catch it. Nobody wants to be in that situation, but you got to deal with it. You got to take your lumps. He lost to John. Yeah, he did. He lost it in Miami. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to go through it again, but you have to. You have to. Tannehill is threatened by the Rook. Drew, you're absolutely right. He is threatened by that rookie. The problem is the only way to not be threatened by that rookie is to ball out. Quiet as kept. Jalen Hurts is in the same situation. If Jalen Hurts goes out, and to use his terminology, if he lays a deuce this year, guess what? They're going to be looking at Gardner Minshew or Carson Strong or whoever they bring into camp or whoever's on the roster at that particular time. I got a strong feeling that Minshew might not be around. I think they're going to get rid of him. But in any case, Jalen's in the same boat. He's just in a better position because ultimately he played better than Tannehill did. And plus, it looks as if the Eagles have his back. But ultimately, Jalen Hurts is in the same spot. Yeah, I mean, he will help him, but he's just letting him know that he's not just going to give the job to him. Yeah, I agree. However, there's 8 million ways he could have said that, as opposed to what he said. That's the problem. I don't have a problem with him saying I'm not his mentor. Brett Favre said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. You see how that turned out. So that's the nature of the beast, man. Every year somebody's coming for your job. There are no there's comfortable positions, but nobody is ever safe in the league. Patrick Mahomes, if he drops back, knock on wood, God forbid, if he drops back and pops his Achilles and he doesn't come back the same way he left, he's at risk. One play away. Tyreek Hill pulled a hamstring last year, and they were without him for 3 games or something like that. I think 4 games. I think they went 3-1 without him. But what happens if that hamstring pull becomes a hamstring tear? Stuff like that happens all the time. That kid from Michigan, that linebacker from Michigan that popped his Achilles at his pro day. One play away. That kid had balled and prepared for that very moment. And for all intent and purposes, he was killing it. He was having a great workout. And then it all went to crap. It was great until it wasn't. So you got to be ready. Next man up. People really don't understand what that means. Next man up means you got to make sure the next man up is ready to go. And sometimes that requires the help of the person that is being replaced. That's the cost of doing business. So, but real quick, we had some breaking news before we came. Oh, before we do this, I got to give a shout out. My nephew down in Atlanta, going to Georgia Tech, Daniel Wilson. That's my twin sister's son. He got. Let me make sure I say this right. He got accepted to the Air Force pilot program while he's down there at Georgia Tech. So shout out to my nephew Daniel, man. Keep doing your damn thing, bro. Proud of you. He's a brainiac. So, what was I saying? Oh, breaking news. The whole yeah. James Bradbury. Giants are going to release him. They cash strap. They got to sign all them draft picks. So the Giants were in the same situation that the Eagles were not too long ago when we had those 3 first-round picks. This is why you got to be careful when you have a lot of draft picks. You got to sign them. It's great having great players and first-round picks, but you got to sign them. You got to pay them. So now, again, the same thing I was talking about Treylon Burks. Now you got a known quantity. You got a proven cornerback in James Bradbury. Now they can't keep him. So, hey, I'm hoping Howie, I hope you seeing it. And go ahead and get that brother a call because we can use him in our backfield, our defensive backfield. Absolutely. Make that call. So, we've been we've been making breaking news for the last couple of weeks. So, Howie, keep doing what you're doing, bro. You are the Wizard of Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying. Nightbane. Is that what that says? Nightbane. Will Hurts improve as a passer this year? I feel he doesn't have the arm capabilities. Hope I'm wrong. Everybody keeps saying that. You know how I feel. The big arm is overrated. If you go back and look at who do you want to look at? You can look at Josh Allen. You can look at Aaron Rodgers. Look at anybody with the big arm. Most of the touchdowns they're throwing, they're not throwing the ball 80 yards. Most of the passes, most of long passes, deep passes are like 30 to 40 yards. Maybe a 50-yarder in there somewhere. Jalen Hurts can throw that. Jalen Hurts has a decent arm. He doesn't have a crazy arm, but he has an NFL quality arm. If you don't believe me, go back and look at the Atlanta game. Everybody says that he can't throw deep, forgetting the fact that he threw 3 awesome deep balls that should have been called for touchdowns, but our receivers stepped out of bounds. So I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. Jalen Hurts has a good enough arm. And I'll say it again. There's something to be said when your quarterback is in the same offensive scheme for the second time in a row. Let's beat that dead horse, man. This is the first time in his now 7-year career, college and pros, that he's been in the same offense for a consecutive year. It did not happen when he was in college. It did not happen. He got here, he got drafted as a rookie under Peterson. He started 4 games when Carson Wentz was sucking. Off-season, Peterson gets fired. Sirianni's in. He's got to throw all of that stuff out the window and learn a whole new offense. And in my opinion, Sirianni really didn't help him out the way they were calling the game. Among other stuff that, we can nitpick. Everybody's saying congrats to Daniel. Appreciate it. I think my twin is watching. My twin sister's on. She would appreciate that too. Uncle Nasty Nuts. Sign that man, Howie. I got to give you props for that screen name, bro. Uncle Nasty Nuts 856. What's up, Edward? I appreciate it, man. Also, this was the breaking news draft day when we made that deal. So props to Howie again for stealing the draft. We were the story at the draft. Let me see. Funny show enough. Funny how Hurts as a passer really wasn't a question with Doug. Good point. The offense was running now doesn't fit Hurts, but they could find place to fit him best. That's exactly what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we get rid of all of those stupid wide receiver screens. We run running back and tight end screens a lot more. We put our guys in motion a lot more. Hopefully, Jalen Hurts will be under center a lot more so he can drop back, take a standard traditional 7-step drop and read the defense. Continue to run play action. Continue to run a balanced offense. If we don't run a balanced offense, we're going to have the same gripes. And it's like, dude, we know how to do it. Go back and watch. Go on the NFL Network and watch Philly versus Atlanta. Sirianni's first game as head coach. We ran that up-tempo, on-the-move offense. We ran like hurry up for that first quarter, and we were killing them. And we never did it since that game. And I was like, what's the problem? And then we had that 5-game stretch where we were running like 2 and 5 times a game. They'd say, well, we ran the ball 12 times. Yeah, well, Jalen Hurts ran 8 of them. And it's like, no, we don't want that. Give the ball to your running backs, the guys that you pay to run the ball. If Jalen Hurts is in trouble and has got to scramble, that's when you have a running play. But get rid of all them RPOs, man. Forget an RPO. Let Jalen Hurts be under center. Let your tailback be at 7.5 to 8 yards. Let him run downhill and let Jalen Hurts stick the ball where the defense can see him and cause the linebackers to take a step up. That is what play action is. Make your linebackers take a step up. When you take a step up, that means whoever that linebacker is supposed to be covering gets separation. 1 step equals 3. You take a step up, I'm taking 2 steps past you. You're already 3 steps behind, and you're going in the wrong direction. It creates separation. Creates timing for the offense. Brian, what are you saying? Brian Redden, do you think that Philadelphia Eagles fare against Dallas Cowboys and Washington Redskins? Do you think the Philadelphia Eagles fare against, I'll say fair, meaning like they can compete against the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants in the draft? If you're looking like from draft to draft, I still say that the Eagles had the best draft. Giants had a great draft. There's a lot of teams that had A drafts, B+ and A drafts. Jets had an A+ draft. Giants had an A draft. The Kansas City Chiefs had an A draft. A lot of teams had very good drafts. As far as what's going on in our division, I think we had a better draft than the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are in trouble. I don't know what the situation was with Zeke. I don't know what, like, he can't run the ball no more, or they're not using him. Well, I can't say he can't run the ball no more, but he was not effective last year. Dak Prescott is getting the moniker of Dak Prescott's going to do what Dak Prescott does. That means you're good, and then you're not. But you're not good when they need you to be good. So people aren't sold on McCarthy. That's just opinion. But I think with who we've got in the middle, and that's another thing that I want to talk about. Why is everybody all of a sudden on Jordan Davis? I know he's 340 because I've heard 2 people, and 2 people I trust, mention that. Brian Baldinger and Ike Reese. Both of them mentioned that about his weight, about that size. Because he can move, but is he gonna have the stamina? Is he gonna have the conditioning to hold out for a whole game? He's not gonna play a whole game. He's gonna be in situations, and hopefully he's going to lose a little weight when he reports to camp. If he's 340, he should be like 325, 330. But there are great people in the Eagles organization that get paid to deal with that. So I'm not worried about that. So we'll see. We'll see. He's gonna plug up the middle. If he's the type of guy that Fletcher Cox was a couple years ago, that's what we need. Fletcher Cox was the type of player where you need to double team him. That's what we want for Jordan Davis. If he can get through the line, he's going to get a sack every now and then. And let's not forget, now we got Hassan Reddick. Now we got Kaiser. Now we got two studs. Now we got Nakobe Dean that runs a 4-4. Now we got those dudes in the defensive backfield. All he has to do, if he entices a double team, somebody's free. That's all we need him to do. He doesn't have to have 8-10 sacks. It would be great if he does. If he gets 6 sacks, I'm going to be happy. But if every game he plays, now, here's where you'll have the problem. If he's in the game and he's going man-to-man and he's being handled and he's not getting penetration and all that kind of stuff, I don't even need penetration for him. I just need teams to double team him. I need him to be that effective. He needs to take up an extra guy because he's going to free up somebody else. When you free up somebody else, that gives you a little bit of room to move around and make some stuff happen. Now you can do some things like they talk about Debo doing, not Debo, but Micah Carson's doing. When you got a defensive line that's bringing the funk, now you can move your linebackers around and do some stunts and some twists and some hidden blitzes and things of that nature. Because you also got to remember, Nakobe Dean has running back speed, so he can cover the running back out in the flats and all that kind of stuff. So, Kyron Johnson, yes. I hadn't heard of Kyron Johnson, but, I had to look him up and do my homework, but I'm not going to pass judgment just looking at highlight tapes. But I do like his speed. The stuff I saw at him at the draft camp or whatever, where he was running over at the Senior Bowl. He's a hybrid player, linebacker / rush edge, super quick. And he was pancaking them offensive linemen in those drills. He was playing defensive end, and they do the drill. They come off the ball, and you just kind of block. Jeremiah, what's going on, dude? I appreciate you, man. Coming from the other show, yes, sir. Appreciate you. But yeah, he was manhandling some offensive linemen, big boys, and you talking about 40 and 50 pounds, his more weight than him. And he put this one kid on his back, like straight, locked his arms and drove him back. So he's got a little motor on him. He's got a little attitude to him. And I just like the fact, going back to Kaiser and Hassan. Listen, go look at Kaiser playing in with the Chargers. He's an alpha. He's a leader on that defense. And that's the kind of guy that we need. So I'm happy with the way our defense is looking right now. It looks like we're going to play a lot of zone defenses. That's what Gannon likes to play. So he's getting the players that excel in that. So we'll see what's going to happen. So we're looking pretty good. The one question mark was the kid, the tight end, Grant Calcaterra. I didn't know anything about him. And then when I looked it up, I was like, okay, this kid's big, he's tall, he's fast. And I was like, wait a minute, what's the concussion issue? This joker left football in 2019. He played for Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. He caught touchdowns from both of them jokers. And I was like, why did it? Because at first I was like, did he go in the NIL portal or something like that? I was like, no, it was before then. What happened was he got a couple of concussions and then called it quits. He left in 2019. He stopped playing. He became an EMT in 2019 and decided to come back because I guess the EMT checks wasn't covering the bill. But props to him. But he's big. He's not afraid to go up and catch the ball. He's got great hands for a big guy. He's got wide receiver type, like one-handed catch type mitts. So I liked him catching the ball, and he's not afraid to go up like he dunking on people with both hands. He's got those type of hops, and he's already big. He's already big. And he looks like he's faster than normal. He's got that long gait and that turnover. He's running away from some people. And them little small DBs, even those little 6 foot, you can't call them little, but 6 foot DBs can't out jump him. So if he can stay healthy, that's the guy that's going to get rid of J-Jaw, in my opinion. That's what J-Jaw is going to have to do if he wants to make the squad. Number one, he's got to beef up. He's got to go from 220, 230. He's got to be at least, I got to get 240 out of him. And on top of that, now you're asking J-Jaw to put on at least 10 pounds of muscle, and he still got to be fast. So this may be maybe they'll keep him around and just make him exclusively a special teamer, but that's a lot of money for a special teamer. But stranger things have happened. I don't know. Brian, it's always tough to evaluate that draft, man. It's always tough. But here's the argument when people say that. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. However, all the people that when we drafted Jalen Reagor, people were up in arms because we skipped Justin Jefferson. Rightfully so. But then the tape came out and you saw Jalen Reagor run an unofficial 4.2 something, and you were like, okay. Maybe it's not that bad. But then you still have to wait and see. So you have to apply that same logic to our draft picks now, because now we made the obvious choice. I said this on my Pro Fan Perspective. Check out Pro Fan Perspective on Facebook. That's my Facebook page. But you gotta, if we didn't draft Jordan Davis, we were looking for Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. Collectively, those are the two draft picks Philadelphia wanted. I would argue that most people wanted Nakobe Dean more than Jordan Davis. I like Jordan Davis. If we had not have taken him and taken the only player I think we would have been happy with if we didn't get one of those two guys would have been the guy from Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton. That was his name, the safety. I was kind of hoping they'd pick up Kyle Hamilton because that's a need. He's a great player. He's tall. He's fast. Exactly what we would be looking for. So, but my point is, if we had not taken Jordan Davis, and let's just say hypothetically, Dallas or the Giants or somebody else in our division would have taken that pick, what do you think Philadelphia would have been saying about Howie Roseman? They'd have been saying he whiffed again. You messed up the draft again. You're trying to be too cute again. You think you know everything again. You'd have heard all of that stuff that we heard when we skipped DK Metcalf. Because listen, I was one of those people like, yo, we got DK. We got what? Who? I was one of those dudes. Because that was a proven, you knew DK Metcalf had good, he was getting good reports. He was going up the draft board. To me, that was a slam dunk. Justin Jefferson, same way. His draft reports were much, much better than Jalen Rager's. Jalen Rager's was so bad they had his college coach on Cataldi's show, and he couldn't even give him props on the show. Like your dude got drafted, and he kind of blasted the kid, and everybody was like, "Uh-oh." So we took the obvious choice. We took the popular picks. Everybody doesn't work out, but most of the time they do. A lot of the times they do. I won't say most of the time. I posted a really good article. It was a video clip. It's on YouTube, and it's like the last, all of the draft picks right before a Hall of Fame player. Like why didn't the Eagles draft Ray Lewis? He was available. Who did you draft before Jerry Rice was selected? Like stuff like that. Who was drafted before Troy Polamalu? And what you get from it is everybody screws up. It is not unique to the Eagles. Howie Roseman is not the only guy screwing up. I mean, for goodness sake, freaking Jerry Jones showed his draft board on TV. And like, what level of absurdity do you have to do as closed-lipped as closed off as those guys get when it comes to the draft? You want to keep everything secret. You're leaking false information, all that stuff that came out the week of the draft, that fake information and those false flags that everybody's sending out because nobody wants to show their hand. And this idiot showed the draft board, like the players who were important to the Cowboys, like stuff like that. Like, you don't do that. Like, he losing it. He getting there. He getting too old. You might need to sit down. But we didn't. We were the darling of the draft this year, and that was unanimous from other talking heads, from people that don't like the Eagles. Everybody said the same thing. The Eagles had the best draft. Now, you got other people that had A+ drafts too, but it is what it is. We are that team now. And from one draft, now we got high expectations. Jalen Hurts is on the clock. And I've said this before. In my opinion, Jalen Hurts is in the best situation he can be in. The type of kid he is, the type of drive he has, the type of attitude he has, especially being a coach's kid. This is where being a coach's kid comes in to play, because he's been in those situations where he's catching it from his dad on the way home from the game. Like, no shortcuts. So I'm saying that to say he's the type of kid, he's got the type of mental fortitude that he can take the competition. Don't think for a second that he does not know that if he doesn't ball out this year, he's out of here. Or at least he'll be demoted, or somebody else will get a start. He knows that. Why do you think he's coming out saying this is my team? He's doing all of that stuff. He's saying all the right things. However, I would like to say that, Jalen, maybe you need to just watch Brandon Graham give a press conference just once or twice and just try to pick up a little bit of that enthusiasm that Graham has. Jalen is still too monotone, and he's that way because he's still not comfortable in front of that mic, in front of that Philly media yet. He's getting there, but he ain't there yet. Even when he has good games and when he wins, he comes off very monotone and boring, as opposed to somebody like Slay or somebody like BG. So hopefully he'll come out of that shell this year. He says it's his team, but he ain't comfortable with it yet. And when you'll know and you'll be able to hear it when you know he's comfortable as our franchise quarterback. That'll be, he's going to have to ball out. And I'm like, he just has to be a lot better. And we can't get anybody on tape still saying he can't read a defense. That was some damning evidence right there. And rest assured, he has seen that tape, because the minute he has a bad game, guess what tape they're going to bring up? You already know it. But I'm saying all that to say, if anybody, Jalen Hurts has the type of mental toughness to deal with that type of stuff, to be able to say, I'm that dude, I'm the quarterback of this franchise, and y'all gonna ride with me until you kick me out. And that's what we need. And I think he's gonna be all right. Eagles, Jets, and Ravens. Ravens, I don't know, Jinx. Ravens got some issues right now. They better handle Lamar Jackson, and they better get another wide receiver in there. So, or Lamar's going to be running all over the place again. He's going to end up getting hurt. So, we'll see what's going to happen. But we're in a good spot, man. I was extremely happy with our picks. I was extremely happy. We didn't do anything out of the ordinary. We didn't try to get too slick. I'll never forget, and I don't know if anybody's seen it. There's an interview with Joe Banner. I think Ray Dinger did it. And Joe Banner goes over the year the Eagles were going to take Russell Wilson. And they got too comfortable. And instead of moving up to get their guy, they just knew that Russell Wilson was going to fall to them, because all of their homework and all of their research, nobody needs quarterbacks, this, that, and the other. And they just knew that Russell Wilson was going to fall to him, and he didn't. And the Seahawks got him. And Joe Banner will say, like, we got too cute, and we didn't go up to get our guy. So in relation to Howie, they got the dude that they wanted. I thought that we lost Jameson Williams to Detroit. I thought Detroit sniped us and took the guy that we wanted. And I was still happy with Jordan Davis, but then you realize, then when you hear the situation that happened with A.J. Brown, how that all went down, and then you got to think about it. Like, you just don't sign somebody at the drop of a hat for $100 million. It don't happen like that. That took some time to set up. So we didn't miss on Jameson Williams. Jordan Davis was our target. And the A.J. Brown trade was done with pinpoint precision. Again, props to Howie. He pulled that trigger at the exact right time. And that deal was signed while we were on the clock waiting to make our pick. That's how tight that was. I don't think people appreciate the timing of something like that. You don't just put together a $100 million deal in 5 minutes. It don't work that way. So there were talks, and there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes for him to be able to get this done, still make our pick, or let me say it in order, to get the deal done, have the Titans agree to the deal, to the trade, and still make our pick, all in a timely fashion. Crazy. If anybody listening, if you've ever bought a home and all the paperwork you got to sign, that's what it's like negotiating these contracts because you got to go through the contract and your incentives. It's the same type of paperwork. You got your agent or your lawyer, and you got to read over every word and all of that kind of stuff. That stuff takes time. And for him to pull that off, yo, props to you, Howie. Props to you. That was masterful. So we're in a good spot. I expect big things from the Eagles. Our defense is going to be better. Our offense is going to be better. And even though I am saying this as a pro Hurts guy, I want to see Hurts be our franchise quarterback. But if the bottom falls out on Hurts, we got first round picks next year to get a quarterback. Now, there's pluses and minuses in that because if you get a rookie quarterback, you got to go through all this stuff again. Or maybe they'll just give it to Carson Strong. I don't know. Nobody's, Carson Strong ain't moving out of nowhere. We better have the best. Yeah, he ain't scrambling. He got bad knees. He's tall. He's not very mobile. So he is a true pocket quarterback. Maybe that's what Sirianni likes. I don't know. But he ain't getting out of a tight spot. So, but we'll see what's going to happen. The Eagles beat the Ravens today. I believe that. I believe the Ravens were targeting him, but we got him. We are that team. We did that damage. So, man, I can't wait until training camp. Man, it's going to be I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go. I got to do some more homework on all our undrafted free agents. They're just the only person that I recognize was what's the kid from Clemson? I had a what is this? Goodrich. Mario Goodrich. Mario Goodrich was supposed to be he was expected to be drafted. So I don't know what happened. That's another thing we got to look at. And I got to try to talk to some people. Like, what happened to Nakobe Dean? Who put out those rumors that because I heard the same thing. He had a pec issue. He was supposed to get surgery on his pec or his shoulder or something like that. And he didn't do that. Like he got I'm sorry, I got distracted. Like he got he didn't get surgery, so his draft stock dropped. So I don't know. It cost him a lot of money. The difference between a first round and a third round is roughly $10 to $12 million. So somebody cost him a lot of money. Lots of money. But we'll see what happens. One thing I wanted to, let me see. Before we close, wanted to do a little bit of Sixers talk. And I wanted to talk about the Sixers bench. Yeah. That's pretty much what we're dealing with. There were some rumors that some NBA bigwigs will be at the game tomorrow because supposedly they're going to give the MVP to Joel Embiid. I don't know if that's true. That's what I heard, but we'll see. But Sixers benches straight doo-doo. Yeah, Family 7. Yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is. Their bench is garbage, man. Ugh. So it's a shame. All of this work, all of this stuff with Ben Simmons, and we finally got that, and we finally got that dude, Joel Embiid, and then we finally got that other dude, and Maxey, and it just all came crashing down with a blow to the face. Got to be more careful. But we'll see. My grandson Chris thinks they're gonna be swept. I can't really argue with him unless, honestly, if Joel Embiid's not playing, just keep feeding the ball to Maxey and Tobias Harris. James Harden, I don't know what the hell he want to do. Um, you better get you something. You better drink you a Red Bull or something, because in the second half you like fall asleep, bro. You out of gas. So we'll see what's gonna happen, but hope they can at least just don't get swept. Don't get swept like damn Brooklyn, please. But anyways, man, that's it for me, man. I'm gonna get up and out of here. Great show tonight, man. Great show. Chat was live. Listen, please slam the like button. Subscribe to this channel. Please visit me on my Facebook fan page, The Pro Fan Perspective. Trying to make this thing grow. If you know somebody who likes sports, if you are part of a football fan group or just a sports fan group, send my link along. Tell them to join my fan page. Hey, I would love to have you. I contribute. I don't just join groups to join them. I definitely try to contribute. Hey, we can all grow together. There's enough room for everybody to eat. All right, so let's do that. But I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody for joining me. My family, my friends, I appreciate you. And I will see you next week. And hopefully, maybe the Sixers will still be playing. I don't know. We'll see, though. I'm out of here. I appreciate you. Love you. Talk to you next week. Peace.